Hello and welcome. I'm Tim, and this is a special Friday bonus edition of TimBatSea. So, I've been fortunate to be able to have so many videos all set and ready to go that I have this little short one. Thought it was kind of fun, and I figured I'd give you something to watch on a Friday. Anyway, here we are. I thought this was interesting. We were doing a barge shuffle. That means I was bringing a barge over. There were two other barges in the way. They had to get two tugs to pull those barges out so I could put mine in, then the other barges come alongside, that sort of thing. And one of the guys that was taking one of the barges out is a friend of mine, and he called me up. And I think his direct quote was, "Yeah, there's going to be some really bright lights in there. If you see some guys running around the dock with AK-47s and military gear, don't worry, they're just filming a movie, but the lights make it really tough to see." So, okay, just another thing that we deal with here in Brooklyn. So we are actually in Gowanus Bay, and we're coming into the Henry Street dock, and that's where we keep a lot of barges. And you can see these bright lights up there up before me. Now, what you can't really see because it's all dark is the outline. You can probably see the outline of the barge, and that's right dead ahead of us because we're in push gear, and it's a big 50 barge. And remember, we're not working on our regular tug. We're working on a kind of a loaner, a 3000. So it's a big tug and a little barge. It's not really little, just not what we're used to. And the winch isn't quite as strong as the one that we're used to, and you can see that at the end. I kind of move around, wiggles around a little bit, but no big deal. We're coming in here. Luckily, it had been blowing really hard for a long time, and the wind had let go, and so we're sliding in here. Everything's going good. You can see that big ship up there, just to the right of those two great big light clusters, and that ship is on the opposite side of the dock that we use. So as you see that, it's going to look like we're going alongside the ship. We're not. We're actually going to be going alongside a dock that will be in between that ship and us. And unfortunately, this dock is not very well fendered up. It's just an old derelict dock that just has like cement and like a tire here and there. So it's really imperative that we land flat. So in other words, all the weight and all the energy in the barge gets dispersed over the entire length of the barge instead of just on one point. And that's kind of what we try to do. Now, you can hear I'm not really saying much just because I'm kind of watching, doing my job. Haven't called anybody out yet. Getting in here, coming in. Like I say, I was killing time waiting for some other people to move, and now this gives me a good opportunity. There we go. Now I'm calling the chief.
300 feet to go to the dock, and if we were beside the dock, it'd probably be 80, 90 foot wide about right now.
Very good. So now you can see that bright light that they're using for doing the filming. It's shining down on the deck of the barge, so you can start seeing the barge. Now, something I should address, because I get this question more often than I'd ever expected that I ever would in comments, and that's that people say, why don't you run with lights on? Why don't ships have headlights? And believe it or not, more often than we'd like, we encounter recreational boats that have these huge lights in front of them. And these are not really what we'd call true mariners. We're not trying to be tough. The problem is that we need to maintain our night vision, and by having lights on, you do more damage by blinding everybody else than the little bit of light that it exposes in front of you. And remember, this barge right here is almost 400 feet, about 350 feet ahead of me, and so putting lights on, you couldn't put lights on the barge, you'd have to have lights on the tug. Now granted, we have searchlights, but they're not going to do much because this is a light barge, and the barge is 25-30 feet above the water, so I really need to see above it. So having lights on only turn your own night vision down. And if you're one of those guys, wink, wink, nod to the guy in the C&D canal that blinded me and the pilot in his bass boat with a super bright light going by that made the ship and us almost collide. Yeah, that's not really cool. If you want to do that when there aren't any other boats around, because you're blinding the rest of us. All right, I'll shut up.
Just past the main part of the dock, just past the bow of the Blue James. So we're 50 wide right now.
Very good. Now you can see this other tugboat that's just sitting there. He's actually doing something. What he's done is, because there's nobody on this dock and the bollards on this dock are about 8 or 10 feet in from the side of the dock, he's staying there and he's put his deckhand on the dock to receive lines for us.
You'll have to let me know when to catch our first line, I guess, based on where the stern is.
Yeah, you just land me flat. Make sure I land super, super, super flat.
Alright, you're 25 wide, and you're just about flat right now. Your stern's got to come in just a hair.
What's coming in first?
The bow is, we're almost flat, but the bow is outrunning the stern just by a little bit.
Okay.
We're 15 wide on the bow, probably about the same on the stern.
So I can already hear people saying, well, if the lights are so bright, why don't you just tell them to turn it off?
Let me get a line out.
Not exactly how it works. They're over there and we're over here. You say, well, maybe you shouldn't bring in the barge when they're filming stuff. You know, we all have a job to do. Sometimes it's just a little easier or a little harder than another time. And these lights are very bright. I wish I could have shot some video of the whatever they're filming getting done, but I was too busy doing what I was doing. 10 to 20 feet to go.
Okay, we'll catch our first line right here, Bob. We're going to catch our first line. Stern just touched up.
It looks like the barge is moving. The barge isn't moving at all. What happens is I back on one engine, and when we touch up like that, the slack in the push gear makes the tug move back and forth. So it looks like the barge is moving. The barge is actually static.
Yeah,
it's the tug that's moving, but the tug has the camera.
Yep. Yep, we're slacking it all the time. Your bow's falling off. It looks like your stern's probably still touching. Your bow's 5 wide.
Alright. Alright, wrap that line up.
Alright, making it off. Okay, you're tied into it. And I'll let you know when your bow's touching up. We got about 4 feet to go.
Just gonna ease it over.
So looking at this now, on the video, it looks much easier to see. I think the camera does better jobs than my eyes do as far as blocking out the light. It's imperative that you have the operator in the wheelhouse has a lot of faith in the guy calling distances. Luckily, I've got the super chief out there working with me. But anyway, that's about it. Just wanted to give you something special for a little Friday treat. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like these videos, make sure you press like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff, and become a patron. You guys take care, be safe, and I'll see you on the one.